We are going to take this chart and animate arrows to go with it. We need to code the HTML like this, and then code the CSS in the body like this. I just found a random chart that is basically 350 pixels by 500 pixels. This will be the source in your image. Next, we need to give the first div in the body a class of box. Make sure you use position relative because this will be important for the arrow's positioning. We will give the box a width and height of 500 pixels, but we will also position it with bottom 50 pixels to make it more precisely centered. To position our image, we will give it position absolute and add these other properties in. Just trust me on this. Now we will get to setting up the arrows. Let's go ahead and put in all our classes for these. One neat thing we can do with the arrowheads is add the HTML entity number for the up arrow and the right arrow. Let's start with our stretch X div. We will give it a height of 10 pixels and a width of 100 pixels and a background color of red. Wait a second, that's not in the right place. First, we need to position it in the full arrow X placement. There. Why don't we go ahead and set it up for the full arrow Y placement while we're at it. Let's also give our arrow X div a color of red, but change the font size to 2 rem. If you notice, there's a little gap between the bar and the arrow. We can fix that by using a margin left distance of -5 pixels. That looks good. Now we want it to stretch. Code in the keyframes and call it stretch X. We start to 0% at the initial width of 100 pixels, but transition to 100% with the width at 500 pixels. Now, we type in our animation of the stretch X keyframe with 2 seconds, ease in, out, and forwards. Alrighty then! We can code in the full arrow Y placement along with its arrow Y, but you can see that we tweaked the margin of the arrow a little more. It will work. This time, the stretch Y div will switch its property measurements where height is now 100 pixels and width is 10 pixels. In the keyframes with stretch Y, we will put in the original height of 100 pixels but extend that to 350 pixels. Now, put the stretch Y in the animation with the 2 seconds, ease in, out, and forwards. Congrats!